The uncomfortable truth about yield is this. It's not an effort problem. It's a connection and alignment problem. The University of North Florida uses personalized video to create connections and build alignment during the most critical phases of the enrollment process. One intentional shift that they made in the admit stage led to a 47% increase in deposits this past year. That one additional touch point showed a big signal. When students feel seen, they move forward. And today we're going to talk all about it, the process, the production, and the results. Good afternoon and welcome in. I am Ann Paoli, Vice President of Partnerships for Allied Pixel. I'm thrilled to have with us Andrea Jones, University of North Florida, as well as our President, Bill Haley, our Vice President of Higher Ed Partnerships and Business Development, Tom Mikowski. Andrea, would you mind introducing yourself?
Sure, I am delighted to be here. I'm Andrea Jones. I'm Vice President of Marketing and Communications at the University of North Florida. I've been at UNF almost 2 years. I've been in higher education for a long time. I was at Georgia State University, a large urban institution in downtown Atlanta, for more than 15 years. And I just can't wait to tell a little bit more about the story here.
Thank you, Andrea. I'm Bill. I started Allied Pixel way back in 1993, and we have always been laser focused on using video and technology together to help schools tell their stories. I am a producer and director by background, and I had the pleasure of coming on campus back in September and doing the filming for this video. And it was a wonderful experience, not only because of Andrea and her team and the amazing campus at UNF, but also because my son Graham, who is a senior in high school, was very interested in UNF for college. So he came out on our last day of shooting and we did a campus tour, and that was really, really special for me. So super glad to have you with us, Andrea. Thanks so much for being here today. Tom?
Good afternoon. I'm Tom Mikowski, VP of Higher Ed Partnerships, as Ann mentioned, and I've been with Allied Pixel for about 6.5 years. Prior to my time with Allied Pixel, though, my background is higher ed enrollment. Spent nearly 30 years at a small private college in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Aquinas College, where I'm based out of. And so when I was at Aquinas, this goes back over 8 years ago now, I actually tried to do some personalized video. And at that time, our marketing team's like, yeah, we don't know how to do it. Even if we did, we don't have really the bandwidth to do it. And I got introduced to Bill and the team here at Allied Pixel and been here ever since. And so it's been great. I've always enjoyed, as much as I enjoyed all the board meetings and cabinet meetings and things on campus, I really enjoyed the creative side of introducing students to campuses. And so it was great. I was on campus too for this, and it was a fantastic experience. So looking forward to talking more about it today.
Wonderful. Let's get this conversation started. Andrea, let's talk about the reasons on why you decided to use personalized admit videos, please.
Sure, absolutely. At the University of North Florida, we are really working to elevate our brand. We're more of a regional institution. We've got about 17,000 students. We have an initiative to grow to 25,000 students in a very short time frame. We serve the workforce needs of our region. We really try to align our curriculum so that we can ensure that our students can go right into jobs. About 70% of our students stay in the region and find jobs, 80% in Florida. So we're number one for jobs in Florida. But we were one of those schools when I arrived, we're the best kept secret. And lots of universities say that, lots of colleges say that. It's really true at UNF. And what I found at UNF is this is a gem of an institution. And you all have visited, when you come to campus, it is something special and something different. And so really making sure that we are building out our marketing strategy to match to our enrollment strategy and allowing students to see themselves here and continuing that sell all the way from a prospect raising their hand to the day that they show up in class. We needed to do a better job of telling our story because we're the real deal And if we tell it authentically, we can really move mountains and change people's perceptions of the institution. And a project like this really showed that. So I stalked y'all a little bit. I found Allied Pixel through another customer and another institution that had used y'all and saw some really terrific results. And was delighted to work with you all. But this really was about raising our awareness and convincing those prospects that this is the right place for them.
Thank you, Andrea, and thank you for investigating us prior to using us. And I know you've had a tremendous experience. We appreciate that. So I know when you did your investigation, the admit video wasn't the first one that you saw, but why did you feel that the admit was going to be the most influential for you?
Again, I think we're not the flagship. So we certainly have students when they get into UNF, they're excited. But we are in a competitive market in Florida, and we want to ensure that our prospects and our admitted students can see themselves here. So this personalized video, this sense of we're connecting directly with you, we want you, we want you to come here is really important to us. And some other institutions may not have to do that level of work, but we're happy to do the work. And this has really been part of an entire coordinated effort for those admitted students. Everything from the academic deans understanding what their role is, how are we finding better scholarship opportunities, to the admitted student days where we're bringing students in. But this was really the front door. Once we admit you and you get a text message, a video message, and in your admissions portal where you can see yourself here. What a way to welcome those admitted students.
Right. And not only welcome them, I mean, the emotional impact. We know from our thumbs up and thumbs down, did you find this video helpful? We give the students an opportunity to give us some feedback. Those responses have been incredible. Do you want to share a little bit about those or any of your favorite responses?
Sure. Blew my mind, 100% positive. So more than 100 responses, all of them incredibly positive. It was really neat to see some of the moms weighing in. We're excited to see their kiddos being welcomed. We had a student who said, I really feel like I'm being welcomed here. I'm not nervous now. I mean, how great is that? So it was really heartwarming to see the immediate responses that the students were feeling to seeing themselves and seeing their name. And also, I mean, the real win here is in those next steps. So the video that allows you to then take the next step right as you are completing it. I mean, what an opportunity to grab them right when we still have them.
Yeah, and that's a perfect lead in. Bill's going to show us the landing page and we're going to show everyone your video.
Great.
And you can see the call to action buttons on the bottom. We can get into that a little bit later, but let's see the video first, please.
Love it.
One of the things I wanted to mention here, maybe now is a good time to mention it too, is, you talk about that emotional connection, Andrea, and one of the other schools that we work with that we do this type of video, they wanted, as part of a campaign, they have this like moments that matter campaign. And I felt the same thing for UNF as you think about your recognition, your brand recognition, and getting out there and just making that emotional connection with the student. For this other college, it was a lot like UNF. Like this video really served that purpose, and it really, and all the great feedback that they've seen, is really mirrors what you guys have seen with your video, and it was very successful in that, in making that a part of the campus. It's not the only thing, right, in terms of a yield strategy, but it's a moment that matters, and that's what's impactful.
That makes perfect sense. Well, and I will say too, I mean, working closely with y'all on the creative direction, and we started with this idea of a bird's eye view. Obviously, we're Ospreys, and we have this incredibly beautiful campus. I mean, we're built on a nature preserve. It's everywhere you look, it's just lush and green and gorgeous. And so it was really exciting to work closely with y'all and think about our drone shots and how we're bringing you in and having that student feel like I can picture myself there. I can see myself on the zip line. I can see myself on the lazy river in the pool outside of my dorm. We've got some real nice differentiators that we can showcase, and I think y'all did a great job in helping us really reach an end result and a video that really showcases us and shows us off.
Yeah. And
All right,
you
thanks.
really just really quickly, and is in terms of visualizing yourself on campus, right? That's what
Yep,
all these students want to do. They want to be able to
yep,
visualize themselves on campus. And while there's other sorts of personalized videos that colleges do to talk about the academic programs, or talk about an honors program, or whatever data point that you have that you want to
yep,
personalize, but these types of videos just speaks to the campus life. Like,
absolutely.
they want to have fun when they go to campus, and they need to visualize themselves having fun. And I thought the way your video turned out with the student in the pool, and the volleyball and the canoe, is just
Yep.
that all came together for those students to say, you know what, this could be a really fun campus to go
Who
to.
wouldn't want to go to that school, right? When after seeing that video. And I think, it's a great way to demonstrate the fit, right? I mean, there's lots of schools that have got maybe a good business program or a great nursing program, but my son likes to talk about the vibe, and that's, to me, that's the personality of the school. What's it really like to go there? And how can we show that in 60 seconds?
Yep.
I think we did a great job collaborating with your team and sort of deciding, okay, how do we want to represent UNF to the student who just got admitted? I love how this came out because it just feels so fun. And that is the
Yep.
vibe. That is the vibe of your school.
Well, and authentic too. Y'all came for market days, which is a big
Yeah.
Wednesday activity where students come out. You saw the wheel spinning.
Mhm.
This is where booths are set up. Kids can go grab free snacks. There's all of the campus clubs and groups. So that really it was a key moment for UNF and a differentiator for us. Again, the canoeing. We've got this beautiful lake on campus. So you really did pick up on the things that make us different. And it shows in our numbers. And you mentioned the academic videos. We started working with admissions, just sort of dipped our toe in the water of personalization the year before we started working with y'all to really think about, okay, we know what students' academic interests are. Can we collect some videos on our own that are a student talking about the marketing program or a student talking about the nursing program? Those videos did okay. They did not perform in the same way that this video performed. I'll say that. So we were happy that we got some clicks on our academic program videos. And it certainly is great for students to hear testimonials about the experience they're going to get at UNF. This video draws you in and makes you feel like you're the center of attention here, which is again probably why we saw those numbers that were so high.
Mhm.
Exactly. And the biggest thing that we haven't even talked about yet is Samantha's name is sprinkled throughout. So each student who received it, their own name is going to be sprinkled throughout. So yes, you might be looking at the canoe, but that was Samantha Jones's
Yep,
last name upside
yep,
down on that canoe, swimming across the pool on the pizza box. So that connection of they know that they're sending this to me.
yep.
I belong there. They want me. And that is a perfect time at the admin stage to send something like this. Because, like everyone has said, they're very familiar with what their academic and maybe living situation is going to look like. But what are they going to do on non-school hours? What's it really going to be like? What's the vibe? Um, I- Again, I'm with everyone. I think it turned out great. Beautiful campus, lovely way to show interest in someone so they can have interest in your school and to make that decision to move forward. And with those three call to action buttons, you decided what you wanted them to do. It was your choice on the action. They ultimately 47% increase in deposits. Like you said, the return on investment is right there. Let's talk about the process a little bit. Um, like you said, we wanted to go through with a bird's eye view. You guys gave us a lot of leeway. We coordinated with your team. Do you want to talk a little bit more about how we arrived and the 2-day shoot and the
Sure,
clearances? Bill and Tom
absolutely.
can join in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky at UNF to have just an incredible creative team and a very clear brand strategy. So I was so appreciative that y'all came in and it felt like you were an extension of that. And so it really it looks and feels like us because we were all a part of it together. I really like the fact that y'all use Basecamp as your project management system, and I think from beginning to end, it was great for us to keep tabs on where are we in the project. We're working on a few other projects and with y'all as well, and that's been great. It's a simple way to bring everyone in. There's lots of communication. And then in advance of the shoot, it was who are the students that we are going to coordinate with. Got a great social team. I know y'all worked with our side, Robbie and Allie, who helped us get student actors and models who were in the video. I think that pre-work helps a lot. You know, oftentimes universities think, oh, we're just going to send a photographer to a classroom. We're going to get that perfect shot that's going to sell the institution. You got to do the pre-work so that you know, and you got to get the shot list down, and you have to really understand what you're going for. And so that pre-work, I think, helped when you got here. It felt like we were all working together and we all had a clear vision and direction for what we were going to do. And again, we were really happy with the editing process, ultimately what we came out with, and because it feels like us and something that would come from our shop as well, it just seamlessly integrates with all of our admissions marketing materials. So it just feels like we're continuing that admissions journey all the way through.
That's nice to hear. Your team made it very easy for us. I have to say, Robbie, and as your creative director, it had a vision and sort of a clear sight on where he wanted to go with this. So we just riffed on that, and I think together we brainstormed. We took a lot of time to look at campus photos and sort of figure out where like the iconic locations are. Um, and our process is that we've got a producer that's assigned to the project and then a director who do a lot of the pre-planning for this. And we worked really closely with your team to make sure that that 2-day shoot went really efficiently. And a lot of people look at a video like that and they'll say, how did you ever get all of those shots done in 2 days? Well, it's planning, right? And your team was so good at making sure that the students were there when we needed them. We storyboarded the whole piece, so we knew exactly what we wanted to get when we arrived on campus. A little bit of it was a bit spontaneous. For example, the zip line, that was not a planned shot. And we got there to do the canoe shot, and the zip line was there, and we're like, wow, that's so cool. We got to do this. So we actually put our camera guy up on, it was a tandem zip line, and he went right next to a student going down, and it's one of the best shots in the whole thing.
So
So
cool.
sometimes you just get lucky with something like that. But yeah, it was. I think the shoot went extremely smoothly, and we walked away with all the footage we needed to put this together.
It's great.
Okay, so let's talk about now that we got them hooked with the video, they're seeing their name, they're seeing the sites, they're feeling the connection. Keep in mind they've gotten a letter at some point. Um, your delivery process was email, text, and the admissions portal.
Mhm.
But let's talk a little bit about the next step because they're watching a video, those call to action buttons are at their fingertips. Do you want to go to the dashboard and Tom can talk a little bit more about the call to action clicks?
Yeah, let me pop in here. So with this particular dashboard, and with every dashboard that we do, if you look on the left-hand side, that kind of gives you a big picture of what the engagement's like. Now, looking at this dashboard too, we should tell you that this whole cycle isn't done, right? I mean, we are only in March. So, we still have a few more months where these statistics will continue to grow. In fact, I think this morning that 37% was already 38%. So it grew by a percent. But what's great is you can look at the number of videos that were done, the 15,000. You can look at the number of unique video clicks that we've already gotten there. That's almost 6,000 unique students. And then you can look at the total views. The total views is over 7,000, which is amazing. So I went back, Andrea, and I took a look at the number of students that watched the video more than once. And we'll talk a little bit more as we look at this dashboard more, like how many times students are watching it. It's pretty impressive. But I did see that over 900 students watched it more than once. And so it is resonating, whether they're sharing it with a parent or they're going back and coming back to it a second time. And that's why these numbers will continue to shift, not only for maybe potentially new admits that come into the pipeline, but certainly for students who are going through the process and trying to make a final decision. They might come back to that video and take another peek at it. As Ian talked about, the call to action buttons, those are so important because if you think about the videos that most colleges put out there on their website, they kind of live there, but then it doesn't direct them anywhere, right? You watch the video and it's like, okay, well, let's hope that the student goes somewhere. The nice thing about these videos, it lives on a branded landing page, and you can have these call to action buttons, up to 3 different buttons that can showcase for the student. So you can see here already that 1,646 students have clicked on your next steps. And that's really important. At the admit stage, your next steps, submitted enrollment deposit, a financial aid checklist, visit campus or campus life, those are the call to action buttons that colleges utilize the most. And those buttons can be dynamic if you want them to. They certainly don't have to be. Like your next steps can be all inclusive. Some colleges use a submit deposit button that only shows for students who haven't deposited. So we can take that data point and only show the buttons that are relevant to the student. But in this, you can see that over 49%, so almost 50% of the students, right when they're watching the video, say, you know what? Let me do something. Let me take the next step in this journey. And that's usually what we see. Somewhere between maybe 45 to 55% of the students will take the next step as they're watching the video. If you look at the right-hand side, you can see the spikes. The really big spike was the largest group of sends. So that's when you first did your first acceptance back first semester. That was the big spike because that's when the majority of your videos get sent out. And then you can see the spikes will go a little bit smaller as you go through, usually because that admit population goes. So this isn't meant to be send it once and be done. It's meant to really send it throughout the cycle. So if you admit some students in December 1st, and then your next group of admits is February 1st, then March 1st, then May 1st, and then some schools are on rolling admission after May 1st, you can send those on a weekly basis and get these out to the students throughout the whole entire cycle. So as we go on and take a look at the dashboard a little bit more for UNF, you can see on the very right-hand side is what we call an engagement score. And that information is really helpful for colleges because it does tell you the student's name who's really engaged with their video. And that's information you can export into your CRM and actually take action on it. So we hid the last name in the email for privacy reasons, but you can see the ID, the student's first name, and then again, when they actually last interacted with their video, how many times they viewed the video, what call to action buttons that they clicked on, and then again, taking a look at that engagement score. So in looking at this, it was easy for me to go in, Andrea, and say, yeah, gosh, over 900 students, watch the video multiple times. And then of course you've got some students that you can see here 14 times, 11 times, 9 times, 7, 5, really, really impressive. That means they love it. They're really engaged with it. So really easy to export that. You can see the download data right above learn about financial aid and the engagement score. You just click on that area there, and then it offers you the ability to download it in a CSV or Excel file. So super simple to bring that information back into your system. So as we go on and look at this dashboard a little bit more, a new feature that was put in place last year, so it's only been around for almost exactly a year, is this opportunity not only to look at the feedback and click on a call to action button, but actually to give feedback. Now we know most students, after they watch the video, they're going to click on a call to action button and take them to another page. But a lot of students will take the time to click on a thumbs up or a thumbs down. They have an opportunity to do either one. And then we ask them, what did you like about the video or what didn't you like about the video? And as Andrea mentioned before, 100%. I don't know who would watch that video and not like it. Well, guess what? Nobody's watched that video and not liked it. Everybody loves it. 114 positive responses. And as we go to the next screen,
Those are skeptical 17-year-olds too. So
yeah, right.
you got to think. I couldn't believe we got 100% positive response. Nobody did anything flippant. Nobody did anything. I mean,
Well, not only that is they don't have to, they could just hit thumbs
could
up
just-
and be done with it. They took an extra moment of their precious time to write in a comment.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I love some of these comments here. Like the third one down is motivating and inspiring. Thank you, Big Osprey. Love the personalization. Obviously, the quality. If you look down here, the video is well choreographed, highlights several of the many positive attributes that UNF has to offer. And you can see some parents, right? On this particular one, I loved how my son's name was throughout the video. So they really loved that. Bill, you probably like the fact that this one says, I love my name, great editing and design. So
That's
being the producer on the project, that's why Bill loves seeing these comments as well. And fun. We see that word fun a lot. So these two of the last three comments, love it. Personalization is so fun. It was fun. Thanks. And that's exactly what we're trying to do is let people know how fun it is at UNF. Now, when you go to the next screen, a couple other comments here. I really like this, the welcome part. If you go about 4 down, it says, made me feel more welcomed and not nervous about my future attending UNF. Whether it's UNF or other institutions, we do see fun and welcomed. They feel welcome. We probably hear that more than ever. And that's really what you're trying to do. Roll out that red carpet, make them feel a part of the family at UNF, make them feel welcome. And then this really does it. Of course, the second to last comment, the video is amazing. It shows what life on campus is really like, shows the joy the students share when they come together. I'm going for it. The video is very welcoming. Go Osprey. So to me, all these ones that say go Osprey too, it lends itself to the energy and enthusiasm, right? That campus spirit that you're really going for. So we
Interesting
love to
fact,
see these every day.
Andrew, we didn't even use your mascot at all,
There you go. Yes. Yeah,
and
yeah.
they still feel that connection and the alignment. Andrew, did you have a favorite comment?
I mean, I think the feeling welcomed and not nervous. I've got 2 young daughters, and so the idea that somebody watched that video and felt like they were going to fit in here and that it lessened their nerves. A lot of institutions, you get a feeling of you're lucky to be here, and for us, it's about we're lucky to have you. And so
Yes.
that's really our
Great
whole
way to say
approach to
it.
the admissions
Mhm.
process is we want you and we want you to find your place here. I mean, our entire brand strategy is about finding your true north. And it's what I love the most about UNF is we match up to the value proposition. So when we are all doing all this outreach from our incredible admissions team, everything that they're doing, their enrollment strategy. We are aligning our marketing to their enrollment strategy, but the best marketing you can do is when you know your product matches up to what the experience is going to be. And we have incredible professors. We have an incredible experience here. And so being able to showcase that and show students what their life is going to be like, because it's true, they really are going to be welcomed here. And then to see the numbers that are showing that the story that we're telling is resonating, you can't do any better than that. So it's really
Exactly.
good for us.
I think it
Lovely.
really is demonstrating the fit, right? So a kid watches this video and they say, you know what? It's not just that my name is throughout. It's like, I really can see myself here. And we
Absolutely.
see that in the comments. I love
Absolutely.
that. I actually get copy it on every single comment that comes through. And I got to tell you, that's like the highlight of my day is to see what these kids have to say. And it's not just the kids either. I mean, when we see that, some of these videos have been shared 14 times,
Yep.
19 times, that's their parents, that's even their grandparents, that's their friends who they're sharing it with. That's why we see these multiple views. And there's such a spillover benefit to the school because it's going beyond the student, it's going to a wider community who's being touched by this.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, we touched on the emotional aspect and we're all feeling good and the students are feeling good and the families are feeling good. Let's talk about how they pressed those buttons and got you to a 47% increase in deposits. We can talk about housing, all the other return on investment that you would like to go into, Andrea.
Sure. Again, as I said before, this is really a coordinated effort. The personalized video and our ability to infuse the marketing cell throughout our admitted student process has absolutely helped drive those students to take actions. What I love the most about what we're doing at UNF, and y'all know this, is you're working closely with our admissions team and our marketing team. And this project helped to bridge some of those conversations so that we knew that we're aligned. We are directly aligned with the cycle. We know exactly, we've always been doing the print production work. We've always been thinking about how we can make sure that we're supporting our admissions team. This type of project helps us to be a strategic partner to say, if we do something like this, we know that we can affect change and we can see the direct return on investment. That's the greatest thing about a tool like this is when you see those clicks, you know that the student's taking the action you want them to take. And we're seeing them take those actions in the moment that they're receiving information, which is a hard thing to get students to get them to take those next actions. So if you think about we're not the only institution that's reaching out to them. They're hearing from all the other institutions that they're admitted to, and everyone is trying to get them to take those actions. And whether it's multiple emails or mailers and postcards, if you have something that sticks out as different and unique and special, it's going to get them to take that action that you want them to take at that moment. So that was what we were excited to see, is the number of students who did take those actions and clicked on to the next step. So we're seeing an increase in our deposits. We're seeing, knock on wood, our head of enrollment never saying we're not counting our chickens until every single student is in a seat. But we're on the upswing and it's an intentional collaboration across departments and units that has led to this, and a commitment to prospective students and their parents that we're going to match the experience that we're showing them. And you can't do any better than having a video that gets kids excited and gets their parents excited and gets them to take the next step.
So I think
And
the
what's
old,
amazing
strike while the iron is hot, the admit moment is such a short window for action. And this short video gives them an opportunity to act immediately, and it
Yep.
motivates them to do that. So they watch that video and those buttons are right there, admit it, enroll now, click on it, and off you go.
Yep.
What was impressive to me too, Andrea, is that with the increase in deposits being so substantial, you would think that maybe last year wasn't so great. But you guys had an amazing year last year.
We're going.
And yeah, and so to come off such an impressive near record year, safe to say, or record year?
Record over record.
Yeah.
You got it. Yep.
Yeah. And so, sometimes people look at this and go, well, yeah, that's really great, but look where you started. But you started at a position of strength,
You
and
got
now
it.
it's kind of taking you to the next step.
Yeah.
You
And
also mentioned,
I certainly, let me just say, I will not take credit for that, as I am marketing and communications. Strategic enrollment and Susan Perez, our incredible AVP for enrollment strategy. The foundational changes that were made to allow this to happen, this is hard stuff. This is everyday hard stuff. And so when we can come in and say, here's a relatively low cost and really impactful thing that marketing can do to help support you, it's a win for everyone. And that's what's exciting too, is as we are seeing these numbers come in, We're sharing them because we're Marcom. We're so excited that the project is working. They're sharing them because it's part of their overall strategy. And so it really does feel like it is this collaborative environment where everything that we're doing and we're layering on top of the foundational changes we've made are working. But this one is working better than a lot of things. So,
Yeah.
which again, happy to give some of the secret sauce away to other institutions,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's made a tremendous difference for us.
Yeah,
Speaking of
these.
other institutions, real quick, and just
Mhm.
to piggyback on that, is that there was the marketing survey on recruitment practices in 2025. So very, very recent survey. It indicated it was a question out there is how effective is personalized video in recruitment? And 100% of the colleges said very effective. But what's interesting about it is less than half the colleges out there utilize anything. I mean, not alone something this engaging, but anything in terms of personalized video. And if you look at four-year public schools, only 33% of four-year public schools utilize it. So it is, it's an area where everyone knows video kind of rules, personalization rules, but how do you bring both of them together in a meaningful way that can move the needle? And I think that's the challenge with most institutions.
Absolutely. Yep.
And that's an
Yeah.
expectation too of this generation.
Yeah,
They take personalization for granted.
of course.
I think over 80% of college age students expect their communications to be personalized to some extent. But we know that colleges struggle to do that, particularly in video. That's the hardest one to do. So this is a way to bring that personalization, all the way through the channels that matter to these students.
Yes.
Right.
And and you guys are doing the heavy technical lift as well. So, we didn't have to figure out how do we get those pixels in and how do we match those names. You make that happen, and we have confidence that every student that's going to get delivered a message that's just to them. And we had a 100% accuracy rate, which is tremendous too. So, being a trusted partner and knowing that you're not going to send me Bill's email is a big deal too. So
It
so
is.
Yeah.
it was you built a lot of trust with our admissions team, with our slate team, and that meant a lot to us as well.
We've got
Right. And that's just a simple data feed back and forth. Go ahead,
yeah,
Bill.
and we do have a really solid process in place for doing this kind of work. We haven't talked a lot about sort of behind the scenes, but there's a bunch of steps that have to happen, and they all have to happen correctly for this to play out. And it starts with the creative and production, but there's also a very big data element of that. And we've got a data team that works with you guys to take that information from Slate or whatever CRM that you use. And then we generate these videos at scale. We host them in the cloud. We provide the player page, and then of course the metrics for the dashboard. So it's like a complete, I guess, array of solutions that are in one place. And that's one of the things that's really unique about Allied Pixel is that we're the one company that understands enrollment, but also has the technical chops and the creative chops to pull off something like this.
So we talked a lot about name personalization and what we do there, but we also personalize with relevant information. And UNF made the decision to not only purchase the personalized admin videos, but you guys decided to go a couple steps further. And so your students will be seeing consistent, not only name personalization, but relevant information to make those connections for you. So Andrew, you did a great job about sharing the ripple effects of personalized video, not just to the student, but the student and the parents, the community, as well as the different departments within your institution. And I know you had mentioned that your housing contracts were even up. And maybe people on this call wouldn't even think that that could return that type of investment as well,
Sure.
outside the deposits. So congratulations on all that. Let's just talk a little bit about any lessons learned that
Sure.
you would do differently or advice you would give to an institution that's considering this.
I mean, I think do it that's the advice I would give. You talked a little bit about the other projects are working on with y'all. One of them is again that beginning part of personalization. Whereas if we're coming to our website, you're coming to our admission site, you are going to get a pop-up where we're going to try to get a little more information about you, and then we're going to serve you up what you've told us you're interested in. So those and that process has been really good for us too, because it helped us identify, are you in state or out of state? Are you interested in academics? Are you interested in more of campus life? Are you interested in a particular major? And so doing long string out videos where we worked closely on the voiceover and what the messaging, and again, having the confidence to know as we're putting those together, we showed that to senior leadership, to the deans, to everyone, and our prospects and their parents can get served up a personalized video straight from our web interface. So they might just be surfing around to learn a little bit more about UNF, and then they're going to be prompted to take an action. And then we're going to capture their information because we're going to be sending them a personalized video that feels like we've listened to them, we understand what they're interested in, we're giving them more information there. We're also working on the financial aid personalized video. That's really helpful too. Financial aid is confusing for students. You get that aid package in the mail. It can feel impersonal. It can feel like I got to read through this and understand this. So that's another project we've been working on with y'all. I feel like that's one where it's helped us, just like on the admissions project, the financial aid video project has helped us all get around the table to understand how that process works. So in marketing communications, we're usually outside of those conversations. Sometimes even our admissions team is outside of those conversations. They're different functions of the institution. So working with a vendor that's bringing those teams together in a project management system to understand how those cycles work, that's been a big added benefit, and kind of an unintended benefit for us is it's helped us to understand each other's areas better too. So as we're explaining it to our students and we're getting ready to put out those videos to students, we understand the cycle a little bit better. It's had us thinking about what else can we be doing to help communicate with these prospects and these admitted students. All this goes back to, again, what I'm saying is it's about showing the student we want them, that they're going to have a place here. And that's happening all across our cycle. But when you do it in a smart way where you can track the return on investment, we're really pleased. And if anything, I would say, I mean, I think we're just going to be looking for more and more ways we can personalize. A lot of institutions talk about it, but it's hard. It really is hard. It's hard. You got to make multiple versions of something. You got to think about how it's going to be received by the audience that you're trying to communicate with. It is easier to kind of just do a shotgun approach, but that personalization and showing parents and students that you want them and that they're going to be comfortable, that's really what people are looking for. They want to feel that extra touch point, and that's happening here in so many ways. And like I said, just having our marketing communications team be able to align to the enrollment strategy has been huge for us. So I mean, I think it's one of the best things. It's certainly a thing I'm super proud of in the 2 years that I've been here, that we have broken down some of the silos, that we are all thinking about our prospects, our admits, and ultimately what can we do to bring in the best class that we can that's going to have the best experience here. And again, like when you've got an institution where the value proposition matches up and parents and students feel really good when their kiddo goes here, that's great. So we're just saying, hey, come here, look at this. We're not the best kept secret anymore. You should come here. It's great.
You guys
It's
have
amazing.
made some very smart decisions strategically, as far as choosing the touch points where the personalization pays off the most. So, you mentioned the 3 personalized videos that you're doing with us. Well, top of funnel, real-time personalized web video is exactly what that does.
Yep.
And then, obviously the admit video that we're talking about. And then one step further down the funnel, the personalized financial aid video, which really does demystify the financial aid process, and is especially great for first-gen students who maybe have not gone through this before.
Yep.
I think you're addressing the most important friction points and driving students in a really thoughtful way through those difficult points. Um, Allied Pixel actually does 18 different kinds of personalized videos for like every stage of the enrollment funnel. But I will say that the three that you are doing at UNF are what we're best known for and probably provide the biggest bang for the buck.
I need to know about the other 15. That'll be for another call.
We'll be glad to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Andrew, go ahead,
in
Tom.
talking about the other videos too, with the financial aid video, and Andrea, when you speak about feedback, we were really excited last year when we put that whole thumbs up, thumbs down, and gave them an opportunity to give us that feedback because the analytics were always good. We always knew there was a great lift in the personalized video, but what we didn't always know is like, yeah, you would hear colleges and you'd hear stories, right? And those kind of stories are great to hear, but you actually see that kind of feedback from students and parents in real time is how it's really impactful. And with the financial aid videos, we know it provides clarity because that's exactly what we hear on those comments now. Like we can see it. So it's not like, oh yeah, we just, we hear these stories on campus. Yes, they're doing a good job. But in the moment, they're saying, you know what? Thank you. Because we've had some people who've said, hey, I just got a paper copy or I got an electronic copy of the Word. It's been sitting there. I haven't looked at it, but as soon as I got this video, I looked at it and now I understand it
Yep.
because you can communicate in a much different way via video than you can with some electronic form that you're really asking every um, student and parent to try to decipher.
Well, and why wouldn't we want to make it easier? I mean, that's to me, it's why wouldn't we want to be as welcome as we can and give you as much information in the format that is going to make the most sense for you? If it's customer service 101, and universities have a long, long time have had this sort of sense of look to your left, look to your right, one of you is not going to be here. That doesn't make any sense. And it
Mhm.
certainly doesn't make sense for an institution where, again, we're really living up to, you're going to get this incredible, we're going to get a 17-to-1 student ratio. You are going to get that classroom experience. You're going to get that really personalized attention when you get here. That admission cycle should feel as personalized as what's going to happen when you become a student here. One of our successful out-of-state campaigns is public cost, private feel, and it really does feel like that at UNF. And so these types of projects show that we can match up with that value proposition. We want you to feel welcomed and to feel like we're lucky that you're choosing us and that we can't wait to see you on campus. And you've helped us create many of those messages that are doing just that.
Yeah, we appreciate that. I mean, to me, you're taking the student into consideration. You're giving them radical hospitality. You are literally, like how I started this out, like yield, it's not an effort problem. It's a connection and an alignment problem.
You got
So
it.
you're showing that you're connected. We're aligned with you. We want you here. And not only that, you're going to keep students there through graduation.
Yeah, we've had
Um,
incredible, our retention numbers. And this again, the student success initiatives that were happening before I got here, and then just seeing year over year record retention numbers, same type of thing on the student success side. It's the personalized outreach. We're an institution that does first year advising. So think back to your own college experience. You might not, I don't remember meeting my advisor until probably junior year when
Right.
our advisors are talking to you that first year, and they're guiding you and making sure that you're taking the right classes all the way through. And again, why wouldn't we match our admission?
Exactly. It's personalized, relevant. You
Yep.
guys are making a plan and sticking with it. So we love to hear that. We did disable the chat feature, but the Q&A feature is available. We can go right into questions. If there's anything else, Andrea, that you want to add before we get into questions, or Tom or Bill, feel free.
Go right into questions.
Looks like some are coming in already. Question, what's the time frame for a project like this? Tom?
Yeah, great question. So with this particular video, we say plan on 8 to 10 weeks, but it really depends on like the timing of the video shoot plays a big part in that delivery. So Andrea, I think we probably were right around that 10-week mark, I think, with UNF. Sometimes it can go a little bit longer. or it could go 8 weeks. It just really depends on that timing of the video shoot. So we have some campus partners that will contract with us now, and they're like, yeah, but we don't want you to come to campus until our stuff's in bloom. Like, wait till April to come to campus. And so that will kind of take hold. But yeah, usually most projects are 8 to 10 weeks. Financial aid videos, those require a little bit more work, because think about every piece of data that exists in every single award that exists in your financial aid system gets transformed into dynamic video. So we say plan on 10 to 12 weeks for those kind of videos. But just as a rule of thumb, 8 to 10 weeks to put that together. And it's a great collaboration. Try to make it really easy. I really tell our team, and Bill knows this, I've done it from day one, is um, having been on a college campus for nearly 30 years, we know we're just a little slice of what you do on a daily basis. And so try to take the lift off the campus, make it easy for you. You don't have to write the script. We'll write the script. We'll get your feedback. If you want to write your script, great, but we're going to do all of that. You don't need to worry about what video elements go to what voiceover or to what piece of personalization. Let our team really put that together, and then let you react to that and give us feedback through the process. And it's just, we've worked with hundreds of colleges, and that works out really well. Let us take the lead, take the lift off you, and you just provide the feedback, because you know the institution better than anyone.
Well, and
Andrea, do you agree with that?
I would say, yeah, 100%. And I would really, I think the more, what I really liked about working with y'all is you met us exactly where we were. It was, you could do the entire thing if we needed you to do the whole thing. You could come in and be our partner, and we could take the lead. So really, it seemed to me you've got the full scope of and the full range, but I always felt like we were partners in it and knew where we were headed on everything from even on our real-time videos, making sure that we had we actually loved one of your employees so much we had her do the voiceover, but you're giving us all these voiceover options. You're really letting us think about how we're gonna communicate. So it does feel like the more work that the university does, probably the quicker the time frame is. But just appreciated it. Did feel like a real partnership.
Love hearing that. Thank you. When is the best time to send the videos? And I assume this means in relation to when you mail the letter. So, Andrea, what are your thoughts about that?
I think we went pretty very, very close because again, we had the three options. It was the email that went on that was CC to parents, the text. We had the text going at the same time as the overall admissions communication was going, and then the portal. So every time you're going to the portal, you would see that video too. I think as closely timed to the official letter as possible because you've captured them in that moment of excitement.
Yeah.
And what's nice about that too is that every student has their own unique URL. And so if you dump that into the system, it's just a merge field like any other merge field into an email. So pretty easy from that standpoint.
Can the dashboard can dashboard info be brought into our CRM? Tom, you touched on that a little bit. Do you want to go into a little more detail?
Yeah, sure. We make that really easy. We can create something where we can export information, put information out there in an SFTP. Most colleges will go into their dashboard whenever they want to import or export it, though, and just simply click on that download data button. And once you click on download data, it'll ask you, do you want this what type of CSV file do you want, or do you want it in an Excel file? And so you can actually just export it there, and then you can set up a script that would dump that stuff right into the system from the Excel or CSV file. Yeah. So work with your IT team on that, but it's a pretty easy data point, especially for a video like this, because really the data that you're bringing in is what you saw on the dashboard. So the fact that they viewed their video, what call to action button that they clicked on, and an engagement score if you want to do that. And so from that standpoint, it's not a ton of data to bring back into the system.
Can the videos be shared? Yes. Tom, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, really easy to do that. You can copy that link and and share that. So actually, with the new construction of our landing pages and stuff, there is a feature that we've built in now where you can actually go in, click on that, and again, just copy that link over and share that on any platform. So it'll actually queue you up. Do you want to share this on Facebook, Instagram? Where do you want to share it? So we make it pretty easy for you to do that.
Yeah. Is it possible to make the action buttons dynamic, e.g., make a deposit if they haven't deposited yet?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the beautiful thing. So, well, we don't want to overwhelm students with too many choices. So we say the best practice is to put no more than 3 call to action buttons on that landing page. Okay. Now you can have that prioritized based on what we know about the information. So if you know that a student has deposited, that student will not see a submit deposit button. But if that student has not deposited, that's the first button that you want to see. Okay. So if they have deposited, don't show the button. If they have not, show it. So that kind of dynamic elements in place. If you have a visit campus button, if we have data that shows that they've already visited campus and you don't want to do that, you can. Now, I will say as an admissions professional, I still liked having the visit campus out there because even if a student has made a visit to campus, it really depends on what type of visit that they came for. So many students will come for a big open house with hundreds of other students and things. And then as they go along their admissions journey at a small school like Aquinas that I worked at, we invited a lot of those seniors to come back. So if they could come to an admitted student day, fantastic. We will have colleges that will put admitted student day button there, and then they could sign up to come to admitted student day. Otherwise, you could also schedule what we call just an individual appointment. So it gave another opportunity for those students to visit campus.
And that really gives you the opportunity to think about those CTAs too. It was helpful for us. I mean, we had a lot of internal conversation about what do we want them to do and when do we want them to do it. And again, it's a great touch point for marketing and communications to be tied back to admissions, to understand more about where exactly are we in the cycle, understanding the numbers and how the marketing shop can assist is really important. And that again, that's really where we've made some huge strides. And
Mhm.
it's really fantastic to be able to have projects like this, like I said, that bridge that, because it is a combination of both. It's the sell and the marketing, and it's the admissions functions and those transactional things you need them to do. And in the past, we weren't really aligned on that. So the transactional emails that were going out through Slate were not infused with the sell. So it was a do this, take this action, do this thing. And because we really weren't all working as closely as we should have been, we didn't have insight into the fact that we weren't doing that sell that we needed to be doing. So what a great opportunity to give them the candy, get them excited, and then give them those transactional call to actions that you want them to take. That is so much more dynamic than another email from another institution telling you to do something.
You know, Andrea, when you talk about emails versus the video too, there's a statistics. There's so many great statistics about the effectiveness of personalized video, but one that I go back to all the time is that, 95% of a message is retained when you see it in video, and only 10% when you read it in text. And so, we talk about those moments that matter, and this is a moment that matters. And so rather than just seeing something that's flat, you've been accepted, which is great. Now, again, you're giving them excitement. You're giving them the chance to visualize themselves on campus, which is so important, and they will remember that.
Yep, agreed.
Exactly, with the reinforcement of their name all over the place. I'm sure sometimes those people watch that video more than once because they didn't catch their name maybe on the sign or somewhere else that we showed it.
And
Well,
our
Andrea,
30 and our 37% rate, just because, I'm not competitive at all, but that's really good, right, guys? Just to be
It is
clear,
really
that's
good. Yeah.
incredible. So we're really proud of that and really
Yes.
excited about the fact that this has performed so well. And it's great to be able to go to cabinet and to be able to show direct return on investment with these projects. It's great to put up billboards and build your reputation. It's wonderful to be thinking about doing brand awareness. But when you have these direct ties to, we did this, students did this, that's exactly, if you're going to spend some money, you want to be able to show leadership that you've spent it wisely, and you want to be able to show your enrollment team you're focused on aligning to their enrollment strategy and their enrollment goals. And this is a great way to do it.
That is a wonderful wrap up for this conversation. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story and the success that UNF has had through these videos. I really appreciate it. We have a few more questions. We are out of time. We will try to respond to them individually, but feel free to reach out to the Allied Pixel team if we can be of service. I did put up the QR code if you're interested in having a conversation. Reach out. We would love to talk with you.
And I'm happy to talk to you as a very happy partner. Happy to, again, I'm not going to give you all my secrets, but would be happy to have a conversation about how we're really working together to strategize and to make students feel welcome. It's been wonderful working with you all, and we feel really lucky. And what's so great is when you all came to campus, I could see how excited you were. I mean, we were all like little kids in a candy shop getting excited about this project. So it's as you can, I have a lot of enthusiasm, and to work with folks who match that is really terrific. So and then to see the results, we just have been really happy. So thank you for everything that you've done to help us too, and to help UNF.
It is our pleasure, and we are grateful for the partnership. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I hope this has been helpful, and we will be sending out a recording of this webinar so you can play it back at your convenience. And with that, we will wrap things up. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thanks,
Everyone.
Andrea.
Take care.